The stars glowed bright above Zorith Prime, a giant space station spinning slowly in the dark of space. Its metal walls stretched wide, holding markets, homes, and the Great Cartographic Archive, a massive room filled with a glowing holographic map of the galaxy. The map shimmered, showing planets, stars, and trade routes, all alive with tiny lights. Aliens from every corner of the galaxy came here to study it, their voices buzzing with chatter about new worlds and old wars. Jiho, a young Vren with shiny green wings and curious black eyes, stood before the map. Their thin legs clicked softly on the metal floor as they moved closer. The Vren were small, insect-like creatures, known for their sharp minds and love of maps. Jiho was no different. They loved the archive, spending hours tracing the glowing lines that connected stars. But today, something caught their eye: a strange gap in the map. The hologram showed a wide, empty space where the line stopped. Above it, in sharp red letters, was a label: Human Space. Next to it, a warning flickered in old script: Beyond lies the unknown. Jiho tilted their head, their wings twitching. Why did the map end there? Why was there nothing beyond? They zoomed in, but the map stayed blank, offering no answers. Jiho turned to the crowd around them. The archive was busy, filled with aliens of all kinds. A tentacled merchant floated nearby, trading star charts. A tall, feathered diplomat argued about borders. But no one spoke of human space. Jiho's curiosity grew. They wanted to know why. They found Elder Taesik, their mentor, near a corner of the archive. Taesik was a reptilian scholar, his scales dull green and his eyes sharp with age. He sat at a desk, studying a glowing tablet. Jiho approached, their wings buzzing softly. Elder Taesik, Jiho said, keeping their voice low. Why does the map stop at human space? Taesik's eyes narrowed. He set the tablet down and leaned forward. Jiho, do not ask about that place, he said. His voice was firm, almost a hiss. It is forbidden. Jiho blinked, surprised. But why? What's there? Taesik glanced around, as if checking for listeners. The archive hummed with noise, but no one seemed to notice them. Still, he lowered his voice. Human space is not for us to know. No one talks about it. Not merchants, not diplomats. You must let it go. Jiho's wings drooped. They wanted to argue, but Taesik's stare was heavy. They nodded and stepped back, but their mind raced. Why was it a secret? What were humans? They had never met one, never even heard of one visiting Zorith Prime. The warning on the map *beyond lies the unknown * felt like a challenge. Later that day, Jiho returned to the archive alone. The crowd had thinned, and the map glowed brighter in the dim light. Jiho moved to a quiet corner, where old data crystals were stored in dusty cases. These crystals held records of ancient expeditions, long forgotten by most. Jiho's claws clicked as they searched, their eyes scanning the labels. One crystal, half hidden behind others, caught their attention. It was small, its surface scratched, but it glowed faintly. Jiho picked it up, careful not to drop it. They plugged it into a reader, and a hologram flickered to life. Words appeared, written in an old language. Jiho's translator buzzed, turning the text into something they could understand. The crystal spoke of humans, a species of great skill, builders of wonders. It mentioned an expedition to human space, sent long ago by the Galactic Concord. The expedition never returned, and no one knew why. The record ended abruptly, as if someone had stopped it mid-sentence. Jiho's heart raced. Humans sounded amazing, not dangerous. Why hide them? They looked around. The archive was nearly empty now, only a few aliens lingering near the map. Jiho's claws tightened around the crystal. They knew it was risky, but they couldn't stop now. They slipped the crystal into their satchel and connected their personal tablet to the archive system. With a few quick taps, they downloaded the crystal's data, their wings buzzing with excitement. As they worked, Jiho overheard two merchants nearby. One, a squid-like creature with glowing eyes, whispered to another, a furry beast with long claws. Heard about the new trade route? The squid asked. The beast nodded. Yes, but it stays clear of human space. No one goes there. Not even smugglers. Why? The squid pressed. The beast shrugged. No one dares ask. It's just the way things are. Jiho's antenna twitched. The merchant's words only made them more curious. If no one would talk, they would find answers themselves. They disconnected their tablet and tucked it away. The crystal's data was theirs now, a key to the mystery. That night, Jiho sat in their small room on Zoreth Prime. The station's walls hummed softly, and the stars outside their window sparkled. They opened the downloaded data on their tablet, reading the fragmented text again. The expedition to human space had left from a place called Nexus Station, a trading post far from here. There, someone might know more, maybe even a rogue explorer who had seen human space. Jiho knew it was dangerous. Leaving Zoreth Prime meant breaking rules, maybe even angering Tae-Sik. The Galactic Concord, the group that ruled the galaxy, didn't like questions about humans. But Jiho couldn't let it go. The map's empty space called to them, a puzzle begging to be solved. They thought of Tae-Sik's warning, his stern eyes. They thought of the merchant's whispers, the fear in their voices. But they also thought of the crystal's words, humans, builders of wonders. What could they be? Were they kind? Were they strong? Jiho's wings buzzed, and a smile crossed their face. They would find out. The next morning, Jiho packed a small bag. They slipped the crystal and tablet inside, along with a few credits for travel. The archive was quiet as they passed through, the map glowing as always. Jiho paused, looking at human space one last time. The warning flickered, beyond lies the unknown. They felt a thrill, not fear. At the station's docking bay, ships hummed and hissed, ready to fly. Jiho booked passage on a freighter heading toward Nexus Station. The pilot, a gruff alien with too many eyes, didn't ask questions. Jiho boarded, their heart pounding. They were leaving safety behind, chasing a secret no one else dared touch. As the freighter lifted off, Zoreth Prime shrank in the distance. Jiho clutched their satchel, the crystal inside a quiet promise. The stars stretched ahead, and somewhere out there, human space waited. Jiho didn't know what they would find, but they were ready to ask why. The asteroid outpost hung in the black of space, a rough chunk of rock dotted with flickering lights. Its tunnels and caverns were carved deep, filled with the noise of traders, smugglers, and outcasts. Ships docked at jagged metal platforms, their engines hissing. The air smelled of oil and dust, and voices echoed in a dozen alien tongues. This was a place for those who didn't fit in the shiny halls of Zoreth Prime, a refuge for adventurers who chased secrets. Jiho stepped off the freighter, their green wings twitching nervously. The Vren cartographer felt small here, their thin legs clicking on the uneven floor. Their satchel held the data crystal and tablet, the only clues to human space. Jiho's black eyes scanned the crowd, searching for Sujin, an avian explorer who might know about humans. The crystal's fragmented records mentioned her name, tied to an old expedition. If anyone could help, it was her. The outpost was loud and chaotic. A furry alien shouted over a pile of glowing crates. A snake-like creature slithered past, carrying a strange device. Jiho dodged them, following directions from a dock worker who'd pointed them to a dim tavern at the outpost's edge. That's where Sujin liked to drink, the worker said, her feathers always a giveaway. Inside the tavern, the air was thick with smoke and the hum of music. Jiho's antenna twitched at the noise. They spotted Sujin at a corner table, her blue feathers glinting under a flickering light. She was tall, her beak sharp, her eyes scanning the room like a hunter. A half-empty glass sat before her, and a battered cloak hung over her chair. Jiho took a deep breath and approached. "Are you Sujin?" Jiho asked, their voice soft but clear. Sujin's eyes flicked to them, sharp and wary. "Who's asking?" she said, her voice rough. "I'm Jiho, a cartographer from Zoreth Prime. I found something about human space. Your name was in it." Sujin's feathers bristled, but she didn't move. She studied Jiho, then nodded to the chair across from her. "Sit. Talk fast." Jiho sat, their claws clutching their satchel. They explained the map's gap, the warning, and the data crystal. Sujin listened, her eyes narrowing when Jiho mentioned humans. Finally, she leaned back, her beak clicking softly. "You're chasing trouble, kid," she said. "Human space isn't a place for questions." "But you went there," Jiho said. "The crystal said you saw something." Sujin sighed, glancing around the tavern. No one was close, but she lowered her voice. "Fine. I'll tell you what I saw. But don't expect me to hold your claw after." She took a sip from her glass, then began. Years ago, she joined a scouting mission to the edge of human space. Her crew expected nothing, just empty stars or maybe a weak colony. Instead, they found a planet glowing with life. Cities rose into the sky, their towers twisted in ways that broke physics. Lights danced across them, bright but silent. Ships moved above, sleek and smooth, with no engines Sujin could see. They were fast, powerful, and quiet. "We didn't land," Sujin said. "A human ship met us in orbit. Polite, calm, but firm. They asked us to leave. No threats, just a request. We listened." Jiho leaned forward, their wings buzzing. "What were the humans like?" Sujin shrugged. "Didn't see them close. Spoke through a screen. Their voice was steady. Like they knew we'd listen. And here's the weird part, when we left, our ship was better. Faster. Stronger. Systems we didn't understand got upgraded, like they'd slipped inside our tech without touching it." Jiho's eyes widened. "They helped you? Why?" "No idea," Sujin said. "But it scared my crew. Humans hide something big, Jiho. Something no one in the Concord understands. You dig too deep, you might not come back." Jiho's heart raced. The story didn't scare them, it thrilled them. Humans sounded amazing, not dangerous. They pulled out their tablet and opened the crystal's data. "I found something else," they said, showing Sujin a set of coordinates. They point to a station near human space. "Nexus Station. I think I can learn more there." Sujin's beak clicked in disapproval. "You're a fool," she said. "Nexus is a mess, and humans don't just chat with curious kids. You'll get burned." Jiho didn't waver. "I have to try. I need to know why the map stops." Sujin stared at them, then laughed, a sharp, dry sound. "You've got guts, I'll give you that." She reached into her cloak and pulled out a small device, no bigger than a coin. It was silver, with a faint blue glow. "Take this. It's a scanner. Picks up strange tech, like what humans use. Might keep you alive." Jiho took the scanner, their claws trembling. "Thank you," they said. "Don't thank me," Sujin said, standing. "Just don't die. And if you find something, don't come crying back here." She grabbed her cloak and walked out, her feathers catching the tavern's light. Jiho sat alone, the scanner heavy in their claw. They tucked it into their satchel, next to the crystal and tablet. The coordinates glowed on the screen, a path to Nexus Station. It was risky, maybe crazy, but Jiho couldn't stop now. The human silent ships, their impossible cities, they were real, and Jiho wanted to see them. They left the tavern, the outpost's noise fading behind them. The docking bay was busy, ships coming and going. Jiho found a small transport heading to Nexus Station. The pilot, a gruff alien with spiky skin, took their credits without a word. Jiho boarded, their wings buzzing with excitement and fear. As the transport lifted off, the asteroid outpost shrank below. Jiho stared out a small window, the stars stretching wide. Somewhere out there was human space, a mystery no one dared touch. Sujin's story echoed in their mind, cities that broke physics, ships that moved like ghosts. What were humans hiding? Why did they stay silent? Jiho's claw tightened around the scanner. It was small, but it felt like a key. Nexus Station was their next step, a place where humans might appear. They didn't know what they'd find, but they were ready to face it. The galaxy. Nexus Station glowed like a jewel in the dark of space, its metal arms spinning slowly around a bright central core. The trading hub buzzed with life, ships docked at every corner, their lights flashing. Inside, markets sprawled across floating platforms, filled with aliens shouting over piles of goods. The air hummed with strange music, and smells of spices and metal mixed together. This was a place where anyone could trade, but humans were rare, their visits whispered about like legends. Jiho stepped off the transport, their green wings twitching. The Vren cartographer felt small in the chaos, their black eyes wide as they dodged a rolling crate. Their satchel held the data crystal, tablet, and Sujin's scanner, its faint glow a quiet comfort. Jiho had come to Nexus Station chasing coordinates from the crystal, hoping to find anyone who knew about human space. The mystery of the galactic map's empty edge burned in their mind. The station was overwhelming. A bird-like alien haggled over glowing gems. A jellyfish creature floated past, trailing light. Jiho moved through the crowd, their claws clicking on the metal floor. They scanned every face, every ship, looking for a hint of humans. Sujin's story echoed in their thoughts: silent ships, impossible cities. Could such people really be here? Near a busy docking bay, Jiho stopped. A sleek ship caught their eye, its surface smooth and black, glowing with soft blue lines. It hummed, a low sound that made the air feel heavy. Aliens nearby gave it a wide berth, their eyes darting nervously. Jiho's scanner buzzed in their satchel, its light brighter now. This was no ordinary ship. A woman stood beside it, calm and tall. Her dark hair was tied back, and her clothes, a tight jacket and boots, had a strange, perfect fit. She spoke to a furry merchant, her voice steady, her smile small but warm. The merchant nodded quickly, almost scared, and hurried away. Jiho's antenna twitched. This had to be a human. They approached, their heart pounding. "Excuse me," Jiho said, their voice shaking. "Are you from human space?" The woman turned, her eyes sharp but kind. "I'm Unji," she said. "And you're a long way from home, little Vren." Her voice was smooth, like she wasn't surprised at all. Jiho swallowed. "I'm Jiho. I'm a cartographer. I found something, a crystal. It talks about human space. I want to know why the map stops there." Unji's smile grew, but she didn't answer right away. She glanced at the crowd, then back at Jiho. "You're brave to ask," she said. "Most don't. Come with me. We'll talk." Jiho hesitated, but Unji's calm eyes felt safe. They followed her to the ship, its door sliding open without a sound. Inside, the air was cool, and the walls glowed softly. Strange devices lined the room, screens with moving stars, panels that floated without support. Jiho's scanner buzzed louder, overwhelmed. They stared, their wings buzzing with awe. "Sit," Unji said, pointing to a smooth chair. It moved slightly, like it knew Jiho was there. They sat, clutching their satchel. Unji leaned against a console, her hands relaxed. "So," she said, "you want to know about human space?" Jiho nodded. "The map ends at your space. No one talks about it. Why?" Unji tilted her head, thinking. "Humans like to keep to ourselves," she said. "Not because we're weak, but because we choose to. The galaxy is noisy. We prefer quiet." Jiho blinked. "But the crystal said humans are advanced." "Sujin, she's an explorer, she saw your cities. Ships that move without engines. Is it true?" Unji laughed, a soft sound. "Sujin talks too much," she said. "Yes, it's true. We build things others don't understand. But we don't show off. It's not our way." Jiho leaned forward. "Then why hide? Why not join the Concord?" Unji's smile faded, just a little. "Some things are better left alone," she said. "The galaxy has its problems. We have ours. We stay out of each other's way." Jiho didn't understand, but they felt Unji wasn't lying. The ship's tech proved her words. Everything here was beyond anything Jiho had seen. A screen nearby showed a star chart, but the stars weren't familiar. They stretched far, past the galaxy's edge. Jiho's eyes widened. Is that, outside the galaxy? Eun-ji turned off the screen, quick but calm. You see too much, she said, but her tone was kind. You're curious, Jiho. That's good. But curiosity can be dangerous. Jiho's wings drooped. I just want to know why, they said. Why the warning? Why the secrets? Eun-ji studied them, then reached into a pocket. She pulled out a small orb, glowing soft blue. It floated above her hand, spinning slowly. This is for you, she said. It's a guide. Follow it, and you might find answers. But be careful. Jiho took the orb, their claws trembling. It was warm, and as they held it, a hologram flickered above it. Words appeared, find the sentinel array. The hologram faded, leaving Jiho staring. What's the sentinel array? They asked. Eun-ji smiled. A place. A truth. If you're brave enough, you'll see. She stood, signaling the talk was over. Go now, Jiho. And don't tell everyone you met me. Not all are as kind as I am. Jiho nodded, their mind racing. They slipped the orb into their satchel, next to the crystal and scanner. Eun-ji led them to the door, and they stepped back into the noisy docking bay. The ship's hum faded as the door closed, and Eun-ji gave a small wave before turning away. Jiho stood still, the orb's weight heavy in their bag. The station's chaos swirled around them, aliens shouting, ships roaring, but Jiho barely noticed. They'd met a human, seen her ship, felt her calm strength. Eun-ji hadn't answered everything, but she'd given them a clue. The sentinel array. It was out there, waiting. They moved through the crowd, their claws tight on their satchel. The scanner still buzzed softly, picking up traces of Eun-ji's ship. Jiho found a quiet corner and opened their tablet, checking the crystal's coordinates again. They matched the orb's clue, pointing to a spot at the edge of human space. It was far, but Jiho was ready. At the docking bay, they booked passage on a cargo ship heading that way. The pilot, a scaly alien with a lazy grin, took their credits without questions. Jiho boarded, their wings buzzing with a mix of awe and curiosity. They'd seen a human, touched their tech, and now held a glowing orb with a mystery inside. As the cargo ship lifted off, Nexus Station shrank behind them. Jiho stared out a window, the stars bright and endless. The Sentinel Array was next, a place Eun-ji called a truth. Jiho didn't know what they'd find, but they felt alive, chasing a secret that could change everything. The scout ship hummed softly as it drifted through the dark, the stars stretching endless around it. Jiho sat at the controls, their green wings still, their black eyes fixed on a glowing point ahead. The orb from Eun-ji floated beside them, its blue light pulsing, guiding them to the Sentinel Array. The coordinates from the data crystal matched perfectly, pointing to the edge of human space. Jiho's heart beat fast. They were close to answers, to the truth behind the map's empty edge. The Sentinel Array appeared suddenly, a massive ring of metal and light filling the void. It was huge, bigger than any station Jiho had seen, its surface smooth and glowing with soft blue. Strange drones, nearly invisible, flickered around it, their shapes blending with the stars. The array's glow lit up the scout ship, and Jiho's antenna twitched in awe. It was beautiful, like a silent giant watching the galaxy. The orb pulsed brighter, and the ship's console beeped. A signal from the array let them pass, the drones parting like a curtain. Jiho steered closer, their claws trembling. The array's size made them feel tiny, but they weren't scared. They were curious, ready for whatever came next. Inside a wide docking bay, the ship landed softly. The walls glowed, and the air was warm. Jiho stepped out, their satchel holding the orb, crystal, and Sujin's scanner. The scanner buzzed wildly, overwhelmed by the array's tech. Jiho's wings buzzed too, matching their excitement. They walked forward, following a path of light that appeared on the floor. At the end of the path, a hologram flickered to life. It was a human figure, tall and calm, made of shimmering blue light. Its face was kind, with eyes that seemed to see everything. "Welcome, Jiho," it said, its voice smooth and clear. "I am Guardian, keeper of the Sentinel Array." Jiho blinked, surprised. "You know my name?" Guardian smiled. "The orb told me. It was made for those who seek truth. You are brave to come here." Jiho's claws tightened on their satchel. "I want to know about human space," they said. "Why does the map stop? Why do humans hide?" Guardian's hologram floated closer, its light casting shadows. "Sit," it said, and a smooth bench rose from the floor. Jiho sat, their wings folding neatly. Guardian began to speak, its words simple but heavy with meaning. "This array," it said, "watches the galaxy. Humans built it long ago to protect all life. Beyond our galaxy are dangers, cosmic threats, forces that destroy. Humans fought them once, long before the Galactic Concord existed." Jiho's eyes widened. "Fought them? And won?" Guardian nodded. "Yes, but at great cost. Many human worlds were lost. To keep the galaxy safe, we retreated to human space. We erased our presence from your maps, hid our strength, so no one would follow us and wake those threats again." Jiho leaned forward. "But why hide? You could help the Concord. Share your tech." Guardian's light dimmed slightly. "The galaxy is young," it said. "Its people fight over small things, borders, trade. If we joined, our power would cause fear, maybe war. We chose silence, to guard from afar." The hologram waved a hand, and images appeared in the air. Jiho gasped. They saw human worlds, cities of glass and light, floating islands in the sky, ships dancing between stars. People laughed and worked, their lives bright and peaceful. The images were alive, vibrant, nothing like the Concord's crowded stations. "These are our homes," Guardian said. "We live well, but we never forget our duty. The array watches, always ready." Jiho stared, their wings buzzing softly. "You protect everyone," they said. "And no one knows." Guardian's smile returned. "That is our way. We do not seek praise. But you, Jiho, have found us. Now you face a choice." The hologram pointed to the orb, still floating nearby. "Stay here," Guardian said. "Learn our ways, see our worlds. But if you stay, you cannot return. Or go back to the Concord, share a small truth, and keep our secret safe." Jiho's heart raced. Stay? See human worlds up close, touch their wonders? It was tempting, like a dream. But they thought of Zorath Prime, of Elder Tasik, of the map that needed fixing. They thought of Sujin's warnings, Unji's kindness. The galaxy deserved to know humans weren't a threat, but guardians. "I'll go back," Jiho said, their voice steady. "I'll tell them you're not dangerous. I'll share hope." Guardian's light glowed brighter. "A good choice," it said. "You carry a heavy truth, but you are strong enough." The hologram waved again, and the orb floated into Jiho's claws. It felt warmer now, its light steady. "This will guide you home," Guardian said. "And it holds a message for your people, when the time is right." Jiho stood, their satchel heavy with the orb, crystal, and scanner. "Thank you," they said. "I'll keep your secret." Guardian nodded. "Go, Jiho. The galaxy needs voices like yours." The hologram faded, and the path of light led Jiho back to their ship. They boarded, the array's glow still bright outside. The drones watched silently as the ship lifted off, slipping into the dark. Jiho set the course for Zorath Prime, the orb pulsing softly beside them. As the stars streaked past, Jiho thought of Guardian's words. Humans weren't hiding out of fear, they were protecting everyone, watching for dangers no one else could see. The images of their worlds stayed in Jiho's mind, cities of light, lives of peace. It was a secret worth keeping, but also a truth worth sharing. They opened their tablet, checking the crystal's data. It felt different now, like a piece of something bigger. The scanner, still buzzing, had recorded the array's energy. Ji-ho smiled. They had proof, not to show off, but to hold close, a reminder of what they'd seen. The scout ship hummed, carrying Ji-ho away from the sentinel array. The massive structure shrank behind them, its blue glow fading into the stars. Ji-ho felt changed, their curiosity now mixed with purpose. They would return to the Concorde, tell a careful story, and plant a seed of hope. The galaxy didn't know its silent guardians, but Ji-ho did. And that was enough for now. Zorith Prime sparkled in the dark, its massive space station humming with life. The great cartographic archive glowed at its heart, a holographic map of the galaxy casting light across the room. Aliens moved through the archive, their voices a steady buzz, merchants planning trades, scholars studying stars. But today, the air felt different, charged with whispers of something new. Ji-ho had returned, and the Vren cartographer carried a story that could change everything. Ji-ho stood at the edge of the archive, their green wings still, their black eyes bright. Their satchel held the data crystal, Sujin's scanner, and the glowing orb from Moonji. The journey to the Sentinel array felt like a dream, human worlds of light, Guardian's calm voice, the truth of humanity's silent watch. Now, Ji-ho was back, ready to share what they'd learned, but careful to protect the human secret. The Galactic Concorde had called a meeting, and the archive was packed. Scholars, diplomats, and traders filled the room, their eyes on a raised platform where Ji-ho waited. Elder Tae-sik, the reptilian scholar, stood nearby, his scales glinting under the map's light. He'd been angry when Ji-ho left, but now his eyes held curiosity, maybe even pride. Ji-ho stepped forward, their claws trembling. The crowd quieted, all eyes on the small Vren. I went to human space, Ji-ho said, their voice clear despite their nerves. I found answers about the map's empty edge. Murmurs rippled through the room. A tentacled diplomat hissed in surprise. A furry merchant leaned forward, skeptical. Ji-ho took a deep breath and kept going. Humans are not a threat, they said. They are protectors. They built a place, the Sentinel array, to watch the galaxy, to keep us safe from dangers beyond the stars. The crowd stirred, voices rising. Protectors, a feathered scholar called. Why hide, then? Ji-ho held up the orb, its blue glow bright in their claws. They hide to avoid trouble, they said. Long ago, they fought cosmic threats. They won, but it cost them much. Now, they stay quiet, guarding us without asking for thanks. The orb pulsed, and a hologram flickered above it. The Sentinel array appeared, its massive ring glowing blue, drones circling silently. The crowd gasped, the image sharp and real. Coordinates flashed beside it, marking the array's place at the edge of human space. This is their watch post, Ji-ho said. They ask only respect, not fear. The hologram faded, and the room erupted in noise. Some scholars shouted for proof, others whispered in awe. A squid-like trader muttered about trade routes, wondering if humans could share their tech. Ji-ho stood firm, their wings buzzing softly. They'd told the truth, but not all of it. The human worlds, the full story of their battles, those stayed secret, safe in Ji-ho's heart. Tae-sik stepped forward, raising a clawed hand for silence. The crowd quieted, his sharp eyes scanning them. Ji-ho speaks with courage, he said, his voice strong. They risked much to learn this. The Concorde must listen. Humans are not our enemy. They are our shield. The words hung heavy, and Ji-ho felt warmth in their chest. Tae-sik's support meant everything. The scholars debated, their voices loud. Some wanted to send ships to the array, others urged caution. A few, like the feathered scholar, nodded slowly, convinced by Ji-ho's calm certainty. Hours later, the Concorde reached a decision. The map would change. Ji-ho watched as technicians worked at the archive's controls. The hologram flickered, and the red warning over human space, beyond lies the unknown, vanished. In its place, a new mark appeared, a blue symbol of alliance, glowing softly. The crowd murmured, some in approval, some unsure. Ji-ho stepped back, their claws tight on the orb. The map looked different now, no longer a mystery but a promise. They thought of Guardian's words, of human cities shining in the dark. Humanity's sacrifices were unseen, their vigilance a quiet gift. Jiho felt grateful, honored to carry their truth. As the crowd thinned, Jiho walked to a quiet corner of the archive. The stars outside the station's windows sparkled, endless and bright. They opened their tablet, checking the crystal's data one last time. The scanner, still buzzing faintly, held traces of the array's energy. Jiho smiled. They didn't need more proof. They'd seen enough. Rumors spread fast. By the next day, aliens across Zoreth Prime spoke of humans differently. Merchants wondered about trade, diplomats about peace. A young Vren, much like Jiho, approached them in the archive, eyes wide. "Is it true?" they asked. "Humans protect us?" Jiho nodded, their wings buzzing. "Yes," they said. "They're our guardians. We should respect them." The young Vren scampered off, excited, and Jiho felt a spark of hope. The galaxy was changing, one whisper at a time. Humans were no longer a forbidden secret, but a light in the dark. Far away, in a sleek ship gliding through human space, Unji sat at a console. Her dark hair was tied back, her eyes on a screen showing Zoreth Prime. A signal from the Sentinel array had reached her, carrying Jiho's words. She smiled, small but warm. The Vren had done well, planting a seed of trust. The gap between humans and the galaxy was smaller now, just a little. Unji's ship hummed, its tech glowing softly. She tapped the console, setting a new course. Another mission waited, another watch to keep. The galaxy didn't know the dangers humans faced, the battles fought in silence. But that was fine. Jiho's story was enough, a bridge to something better. She leaned back, the stars stretching outside her window. The Sentinel array's glow lingered in her mind, a reminder of home. Unji's smile grew. The galaxy was safe, and humans would keep it that way, as always. Back on Zoreth Prime, Jiho stood by the map, the blue symbol bright. They thought of Unji's kindness, Sujin's warnings, Guardian's truth. The journey had changed them, made them stronger. They didn't know what came next, but they were ready. The stars called, and Jiho would answer, carrying hope in their heart.